Alright, this is JBM from VillainRadio. This is going to be my first of many Conan the Barbarian reviews. Sit back and enjoy the ride from 1973. Marvel Comics, written by Roy Thomas. Let's just jump into the plot. And this one, Conan, he's fighting for, basically no one's with him. He's out on this mountaintop. It starts off the opening scene. And he's taken on a whole legion of soldiers, like 300 style, by himself. He ends up slaying a lot of them. And then it just so happens that these demon beasts, these like ghostly bats, as you see on the cover here, end up attacking him, or attacking all the soldiers, and Conan nearly dies, but he's saved by the amulet that he had from the last issue. And it's that amulet where a philosopher saw into his crystal ball. The only thing that could save him was this. So he sends his daughter, or some woman, slave woman. Somehow Conan's always running into like dime pieces, like supermodels in bikinis in the Hibernian age where it was all primitive, but hey, he runs into more dimes than I do in Michigan, so what the hell. He takes her back, or she takes him to her king, who is a guy, he's cursed, so is his son, who's a prince. They're both cursed with kind of like health problems ever since this other king named Mustafa Khan, who is a great ruler, who is a noble ruler, a good guy, until he, except for he would always make his soldiers, and he would send out people to collect hordes of relics, because he would hoard antiquities and oddities. And it's beautiful artwork from Jonathan Buscemi, and he ends up getting a cursed artifact from an old wizard, and that lays the curse upon him. And so he turns into an evil king, and he ousts all the sorcerers in the land that he rules. And he ends up, and this guy, the other guy, who's a philosopher, he isn't necessarily a sorcerer, but he deals with magic. He also has the curse. So instead of dying, he got cursed. So he talks Conan, and he'll be like, oh, I'll give you a bunch of gold if you help me. You're the only one that can help me. So they go into his lair, of the king's lair, to take down this Mustafa Khan. And Conan ends up kind of getting his ass kicked. So does the prince and the king, because the sorcerer is laying out all his powers on him. And the girl ends up throwing the amulet at the king, and he ends up dropping the relic, so he ends up losing his power, or the possession, or he was possessed by the demon, so he ends up dropping the artifact, and that ends up spawning two demon colossals. I mean, huge giants. I would love to see this on the big screen. It would almost be awesome. Nurgle, the ape-like man-beast, versus this devil-like figure. I couldn't really find a picture of them, but they only battle for a few like boxes or panels, you know, and then it's over before you know it. The Conan the Barbarians, they have a lot of narration instead of, it's more intelligent dialogue than you'd find in a lot of other Conan books. It was more for 20s and 30 young adult type of readers. And they're saved, and Conan accepts no gold in return. He only takes the bitch from him. And so he sets off to his new adventure, and I don't have number 31, but the next one I have is like number 41 or something. So we'll see. Check in for the next review. This was Conan the Barbarian, number 30. I give it a B- overall. Decent story, decent read. I'll list all the items and locations in the description below. This was JBM for Villain News, Mr. Creepshow 9. I'm out.